Welcome back to my channel. I am Trey. This is the Bauhaus Beat. Today's episode, I want to talk to you about starting an online resale business. So stick around. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's get straight into it today. So in today's video, I'm looking at how to start an online business and how to make some extra cash. So I've got a few notes over here I'm going to look at. The very first thing is you have to have something to sell, right? So we don't want to go spend a lot of money, put a lot of money into this. If you've not done it, you're not familiar with it. There's a lot of trial and error that goes along with it. So my suggestion to everyone, go look around your house, find some things that you can sell. Go find 5 items around the house that you're able to post today. Get up on eBay, Poshmark, that you can list out there and start making money on that. Let's see, looking at this, number one suggestion is clothes. Go take a look at your closet. That's kind of how we started. My wife had a bag of clothing that was going to go to Goodwill. And it's kind of about the same time I came across Poshmark and started researching and looking at this stuff. So I took that bag of stuff that was going to be donated, looked at what I could sell and what was not worth selling that could be donated. So I separated the two, right? So I started taking pictures, started posting, things started selling, started taking that money, and that's when I started looking around the house for other things, earned a little bit more money, and took that. Then I started thrifting and kind of got into it, and it snowballed from there. So my suggestion is, if you're brand new to this, don't know where to start, look around the house, look at clothing is probably number one. Take a look in your garage. There's probably lots of things in our garage. Everyone has shelves just packed with stuff in their garage. I guarantee you find something out there. And the other thing is just declutter the house, right? Take a room. Your kids' rooms are a great place. Toys, things they're outgrowing. Their clothing they're outgrowing. Maybe you've got an office, a spare bedroom, just extra stuff. So I guarantee you can find 5 things that you can go take a look at and post today. The other thing is, let's look at what platform do you want to sell on. So there's Poshmark and eBay. Those are the two that we do. That's where we've had the most success. So it's going to have, depending on what platform you choose, is going to depend on what items you have. Obviously, Poshmark is going to be mainly clothing, although they do have the new home section. But for Poshmark, I stick just with clothing. eBay, you can post anything. So you can cross-post that clothing you have. You've got some hard goods. You've got a stapler you've got in your office. I mean, you can sell just about anything on eBay. So you can always have a good place there. So let's see, my other notes I have on this is you need to have a clear expectation of what you're going to get for an item. So that's going to be a big thing, right? So just because you paid $100 for an item doesn't mean the resale value is going to be $100. It's going to be considerably less, probably 50-60% of that if you're lucky. So I think that's important also. You need to have clear expectations of what you expect to get back when you go to sell an item. The other thing you have to take into consideration also when you sell online are fees. So Poshmark has a flat 20% fee. Over $15, 20%. Anything under $15 is $2.95. eBay and PayPal, you've got fees on both of those, and those come out to roughly 13%. And that's just the fees for listing, selling your items. If you do shipping, or if you pay for shipping, that's another cost you have to factor in. So you may say you have a $50 item that you're going to sell. Somebody buys it for $50. Well, you've got the platform fee, Poshmark or eBay. They're going to take a chunk of it. If you've offered free shipping, that's going to be another chunk of it. And then if it was an item you actually paid for, there's that difference in cost of goods sold. So things to keep in mind. It sounds good. Hey, I'm $50 item. I'm going to make a lot of cash here. Well, there's other things you have to consider that you have to pay for. So just be aware of that. Let's see. The other thing you want to do, so you look around the house, you find your 5 items, you need to get them posted. First thing we need to do is take pictures. Now, it doesn't matter how you go out taking your pictures. There's 100 different ways to do it. You know, the best, clearest pictures are always the best. The most simple thing you can do, take them with your phone. I started with an iPhone. That's how I took my pictures. I didn't have a fancy light kit. Started with my first pictures were even terrible. They were on the kitchen table. It was in the evening with just the light above. They were horrible. But those items still sold. Best thing you can do, daylight next to a window, a nice clean flat surface. That's one of the biggest things is don't have a bunch of clutter in your pictures. If you have one item you're selling, make that the center of your picture. Don't have a bunch of other stuff, then people are going to look at it and be like, well, I can't tell what's for sale. Is it the pair of shoes? Is it those jeans laying over here? Is it the stuffed animal? I mean, you could have all sorts of stuff. So nice, clear pictures. That's going to be key. So the other thing, no clutter, good lighting, and like I say, it doesn't cost you anything. Once you get into it, you can get a light kit and things like that, which I can go over that in a later video, show you kind of the setup I've got now. When I started, very simple. We have a wooden kitchen table, so it was wood background with the overhead light, and those items still sold. So it's important to have, but not necessary to have some fancy thing to get started. You just need to get started. That's the most important thing. So pictures, I would say, is number one. The next thing are titles and descriptions. So if you're going to sell a pair of shoes or a pair of jeans, you don't want to just say tennis shoes or jeans. That's not descriptive. You can't search for these things. So eBay and Poshmark both are very search-friendly platforms. So people are going to go look for certain items. They're going to search keywords. You know, I'm looking for a men's pair of jeans, size whatever it might be. You know, a women's running shoe, size 6.5. So these are things you want to put in your description. So kind of the format that eBay's put out. I go by eBay. Poshmark doesn't really say. I kind of do my things the same. So brand name in a title is always going to be first. What gender it is. Is it men, women's, kids? What it is. And then you want to put in item descriptions. Is it blue? Is it red? Is it multicolor, plaid, checks, whatever it is. And then you also want to put the size in there. So who made it? Who's it for? What it is? Any kind of description, color, pattern, that sort of thing, and then size. Those are the very minimum things you need to put into your title. I think they're going to be very important. And then take those same things and put them in your description as well. And then you can add to that description. So you put the same type of information in there, but then you can also expand on, well, this is a 5-pocket pair of jeans. It's got zippers on 4 of the pockets or whatever it may be. So that's where you put in all the description. As far as descriptions, the other thing that's very, very important, you have to list any flaws in the item. So it doesn't matter, even if you've got something with a little bit of a stain or a little bit of a tear, those things will still sell. Trust me. You may not get top dollar for it. You may have to take a little bit less money for it, but those type of things will sell, but you have to put it in the description. Very important. You don't want somebody thinking they're buying this perfect pair of pants and they get it with a big old rip or stain. They need to know about that stuff up front. That way you cut down on getting any returns, and it just makes it a better experience for everyone. So always list those defects and flaws and items that you have on everything that you list. Very, very important. Let's see, what is the next thing? So shipping, right? So we have our item, found something in the closet, we took pictures of it, we wrote a good description, wrote a good title, we figured out how we wanted to price it. That's the other thing I guess I didn't mention is how much you think things might be worth is not necessarily what they're going for. So whatever platform you're going to sell on, whether it's eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, whatever it is, go to that platform, look up that item. If you can't find that one specifically, I'm sure there's something very similar. See what things are selling for. Not just what they're listed for, but look at sold items to find out if they're actually selling what they're selling for. That way you get a good base and you're able to price your item from that point. Okay, so we have our item, price, title, description, we've got good pictures. So all that goes into your listing, eBay, Poshmark. The other thing we need to talk about is shipping, right? So this can be a completely separate video on shipping, but my main thing is have a plan for how you're going to ship something ahead of time. Don't wait until it sells because you've only got a day or two, depending on your handling time, to get something shipped out. So handling time and all that we can discuss in another video, but have a plan ahead of time how you're going to ship it. So clothing, I ship most things in poly mailers. I don't have one with me. It's just a light, thin mailer because anything on eBay, especially if it's under 16 ounces, it can go first class, which is the cheapest way to ship it. So poly mailers are great for that, especially something that's not going to get broken. Nice thing about Poshmark, everything goes priority mail. So you can go to USPS.com, or you can go to some of the post offices. You can get free boxes, free mailers for priority items. You just have to watch out. The express mailers don't count. The flat rate mailers are completely different. So just the regular priority mailers, boxes, those are what you can get for free. All Poshmark items can go in those, no problem. So like I said, have a plan ahead of time. Get your supplies, get some things you need. Boxes, mailers, tape. That's the basics you need, really. And then have a plan how you're going to ship it. Like Poshmark, you post everything. Everything is priority, so you don't even have to pick, so no worries there. And you can ship that in any kind of box. eBay is a little bit more tricky. You have to know how you're going to ship it, whether it's first class, priority, what kind of mailer you're going to put it in, what kind of box, dimensions, weight. So if you're going to do eBay, you need a scale also. Like I say, that's a completely different video. But to start out, I used a food scale. We had one in the kitchen. I still use it today. It's just a small square food scale. Works perfect for the eBay packages since we don't do anything really large. So that's going to be the basics. I think that's going to pretty much cover everything for this video that I wanted to talk about. Find items around your house. Don't go spend money to do it. Good descriptions, good titles, pictures. Doesn't cost you anything to do that. Everyone's got a smartphone. You can do it that way. You can even list from your phone. If you don't have a computer, some things I list right from the phone. eBay gets a little tricky. I like doing it on the desktop. Poshmark works really great on the phone. And then lastly, have a plan for how you're going to ship it ahead of time. Don't wait until it sells. So that should pretty much cover everything that I wanted to go over in this video. Very simple. Anybody has questions, feel free to comment below. Kind of the purpose of these videos and channels is for my own documentation, but also we're here to help anybody who has questions. It's a great way to make extra money. Like I say, whether you're doing paying off bills, student loans, just extra money, vacation, whatever it may be. Not a lot of work. You don't have to go get a second job. Extra money coming in. It's kind of nice. And it's fun too. Especially you start thrifting and finding goods and finding those treasures. It can be fun. And it's something everyone can do. It doesn't take time away from the family, that sort of thing. So please comment below if you have any questions. We're here to help. You know, anything we can do, we'd be happy to. As always, if you like the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel. There is more stuff to come. We'll put out other videos more regular. So this was just kind of one I want to get started with. So thanks a lot. Thanks for joining me.